Hi, welcome to Business Computing Weekly. This is episode number 403 and it is recorded on June the 2nd, 2013. Want to just let folks know we are sponsored by GFI Software and FrugalBrothers.com. GFI makes tools for the small to mid-sized business, and these are network security and email protection tools. I want to talk to you just briefly about GFI Web Monitor. And what does Web Monitor do? Web Monitor allows you to filter where your employees are going on the web, control, get reports, management reports. You can apply policies as to where people can go and what they can do and how much time they're spending and that kind of thing with GFI Web Monitor. You can also protect your company against malicious or what we call drive-by downloads with GFI Web Monitor. And it's available both in a proxy server edition and as well as a version for the Microsoft TMG or Threat Management Gateway editions as well. For more information, come to FrugalBrothers.com for a full 30-day evaluation copy of GFI Web Monitor. This is a product that makes you money because it keeps people from goofing off on the internet and going to places that they shouldn't be going. Joining me tonight is Mr. Jack McLean. Bring you up on the screen. Hey, Jack, you're looking good today. Got some a little bit better lighting going on.
I'm trying.
Well, today we don't have a real agenda, because we are a business technology show, but we also enjoy personal tech as well. But there are a few news things that I want to get out of the way. And the first thing is tomorrow I will be interviewing Guy Kawasaki. I don't know if everybody's familiar with Guy or not, but he is very prolific out on the internet. He was the original Apple evangelist. Reported directly to Steve Jobs. He has Alltop as a website. He is a publisher, author, speaker. His latest book is Ape, author, publisher, and entrepreneur. And so I'm going to be interviewing him tomorrow. Also, just a update on my interview with Pat Flynn. It did not go so well. And I used Skype, and we had a half an hour. And the first time around, we battled a constant connection problem. I just talked to Pat for a couple minutes, and then Skype would just lose connection. So we circled back. We did that on a Thursday, I think it was. And then we circled back last Monday. Did the same exact thing again. I have never, ever had that happen with Skype in all my years of doing a podcast and video stuff. Only with him. I just found that very, very strange. I don't know, so I'm not sure what happened there. Let me go ahead and just adjust your, let me get your video adjusted one more time on this particular shot, Jack. Sometimes we have to do this here. Go to here, and we'll see if we can't. You know what I'll do? I know what I need to do. There we go. And that's better. There, we got that fixed. But yeah, I've never had that happen with Skype before, ever. And but both times that I've contacted him, we wouldn't even let him chat with me in the chat room. It would just stop. And I was talking to some folks, and they go, well, Skype, the way it kind of works is sort of a peer-to-peer kind of thing, and it is potentially possible that there was a bandwidth issue on his end or something going on his end, because I was able to turn around and talk to people in Arizona and in California, no problem right after talking to him. Have you ever had any kind of problem like that with Skype?
I very rarely had any good experiences with Skype.
Yeah, you're kind of like a FaceTime. You like that really well for instant.
I like FaceTime better than I do Skype. It seems probably about every third time I try to use Skype, I have some kind of issue, either a connection because I'm running on very low bandwidth here anyway. I'm on if people don't already know, I'm on a 10 meg DSL connection, so I'm already dealing with low bandwidth. And then if you add in anything at all, you're going to have problems with it. So,
right.
I'm not a big fan of the Skype. So,
well, there are some alternatives. Unfortunately, Skype is kind of universal. most people have Skype or familiar with it, and
It is. It is.
you got to be using Mac or an iOS device to take advantage of FaceTime,
Right.
unfortunately. So until something better comes along, I think Plan B. I told him that we would try circling back with him in a few weeks after more testing. I think Plan B is going to be trying it as a Google Hangout if Skype doesn't work.
See, I have to say I do like Skype better than Google Hangouts.
Yeah, yeah. By the way, have you downloaded or installed the new Google Hangout that replaces Google Talk and Google Chat?
On the iOS version,
Well, you can also, it's a Chrome extension as well.
no, I have the iOS version, but I don't have the Chrome extension.
Okay, yeah, go ahead and get you the Chrome extension. But one thing I noticed is that what they neglected to include in Google Hangout now is Google Voice, where you can make a phone call from it. That's not, at least I can't find that it's in there at all.
There have to be a reason for that.
I think it's a feature that either they're going to get rid of or they're downplaying it in some way.
Right.
It's kind of, I'm not really crazy about Google Hangout, them replacing Google Chat or Google Talk with Google Hangouts, because not all everything it is geared towards a video chat.
Right.
I mean, that's kind of what it does. So you have to go, at least what I've seen so far, you've had to kind of go in and then turn off your camera and then do it that way if you just want to initiate an audio chat. So I still think they got some work to do on it. So you asked me to today to remind you about apparently you went out to get your son an iPhone.
Yeah. We have an odd situation going on here where I have a contract with myself and my wife and my daughter on it, and my wife has a separate contract that has her and my son and a couple other people on it. So we were trying to get him upgraded, get his phone upgraded, and he couldn't make it to the store in time. So we went to do it for him, and since my wife is the primary on the contract, we could do that. But yeah, it's quite the adventure every time I go to Walmart, especially because I really prefer going to Walmart over the Verizon store. When I Mainly just because you rarely have to wait in long lines like you do at the Verizon store, but it's still an adventure anytime I go to Walmart to get a phone. To begin with, rarely do they know exactly what they're doing, so they always have to get somebody to come over and explain to them what they're doing. And then once you got that going on, there's always that guy. And last night it was very apparent. There's this guy who's obviously into computers and into Macs, and we started conversing about Macs and the iPhone and all this, and he starts rattling off all these rumors that he's heard about, but he's rattling them off like they're true. And, he's heard about the multicolored low cost iPhone that is supposed to come out, which I seriously doubt.
Oh, I doubt that too.
That's a rumor. And there was another one. He said, well, if you buy a case now, it's not going to fit the 5S when it comes out because it's going to be a quarter of an inch wider or whatever. And I mean, just he started rattling off all these rumors that he's heard, just like they're facts. And I'm thinking to myself, that might not be a good thing having this guy working for you in retail when he's telling you not to buy something because, based on a rumor that he heard that he's spouting off as fact, you shouldn't buy a particular case because it's not going to work with the new phone. And I just thought it was really, really weird situation for that to be happening there.
Yeah. So why, I guess my question to you is, you're there to get an iPhone 5, right? Why didn't you just shut his mouth and say an iPhone 5?
Well, he couldn't. Once he found out that I was into, obviously my hat gave it away, but once he found out, that what I did for a living and that I was a computer technician and that I was into Macs and iPhones, he just could not shut his mouth. He kept on after that, and it escalated. And like I said, then he started talking about the rumors and passing them off as facts. And I just thought it was funny that how many people there are out there. What made me really think about it is there's so many people out there that take these rumors at face value, and people need to understand they're just rumors. They are just rumors. Apple may come up with an iWatch, and they may come out with an iTV at some point, or they may come out with something. But until they introduce it, it is not a fact, and they may even have, and I'm sure they do. I'm sure Apple has products in a storage facility somewhere that we will never see. We will never, human eyes will never see again. But that doesn't mean they're going to come out with every single thing that's in development. And I've been listening to a lot of podcasts that are Mac related, and the rumor mill is rampant right now,
Sure.
and because of WWDC coming up the 10th, and it amazes me these tech pundits that will pass off a rumor as fact, and when it's not even close, and they have no idea what they're talking about, but they tend to pass it off as fact, and I think it confuses a lot of people.
No, I agree with you. We have, and let's see, WWDC is what is the keynote on the 10th?
I believe so. Yeah.
On the 10th, because Apple's will surprise you, and many times these guys have been totally dead wrong on what happens. I guess the newest rumor that I've been because I don't really care about an iWatch. I'll be honest with you. It just But the one rumor that I do find interesting is that apparently the Mac Pro is showing up as out of stock and on back order with a variety of vendors out there, which is a strong indicator that a refresh is coming out, that everybody's running short on supply.
I believe that Tim Cook actually said as much, did he not?
Well, what he said was, okay, so people kind of know what's a little story behind this. There is a Facebook page called We Want a New Mac Pro. And yeah, that's what it's called. And it got some press. And the guy had wrote an email to Tim Cook, not expecting anything back. Right. And Cook did reply back and said that we've got something really, really cool coming for you later next year. This would have been a year ago.
Right.
And so now, with WWDC coming, a lot of people are out there and they're scrounging for rumors and scuttlebutt and anything that they can. But I read today that after looking around at all the different places you can order a Mac Pro from online and so forth, they're either out of stock or on back order, which means the supply line has dried up, which Apple will typically do that. They will cease production, let the supply line run out when they know they're going to be releasing new product. So there is I would think probably at least a 50% chance that the Mac Pro, a new version of the Mac Pro, will be introduced on later next week, and probably would coincide with the release of the Haswell processors. I don't know whether that they're going to use some type of server class processor in the new Mac Pro. Maybe they will. Don't know.
Now, when was the last time that the Mac Pro line was refreshed?
Well, there was this like minor speed bump that was done about a year ago.
Okay, about a year ago.
But that's all they did was they just kind of increased the performance of the processor, and that was it.
But the last major refresh.
Oh my goodness! I've got a 2009 Mac. 2008, something like that.
2008, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming, and I think what professionals want more than anything else is they want, of course, retain their ability to upgrade their memory themselves, the video cards, and also the expandability. They want to have that. Now, what we're looking at now, though, is, of course, the ability. The USB 3.0 has got to be part of it. Mm-hmm. Thunderbolt needs to be part of it.
Yep.
I would think as I said, it's going to be running a Haswell-based processor.
I'm going to assume that they're probably going to weed out FireWire.
I would, I think FireWire is probably dead.
Probably. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's dead on the Mac Pro. What else could they do to it that people want? They want it smaller. They want a smaller Mac Pro. Physically. They want it.
I think the Fusion drive is going to definitely.
Yeah, I think it'll come with. I think a base model will probably come with like a terabyte Fusion drive.
Right.
Okay, and then everything else will be an upgrade to that. Oh, there is one other interesting thing in the latest beta of OS 10 10.8.4, which is nearing imminent release. There is drivers for the NVIDIA Titan video card, which that would be definitely a classic card for a Mac Pro. So the Titan may very well be an option on the new Mac Pro as well.
$1,000 video card right there.
Yeah, they're a lot of money.
Everybody needs 2 of those in an SLI.
Do they? Yeah. Do they? Not me.
just for Skype and playing World of Warcraft, everybody needs 2 of those.
Really, in SLI configuration?
Yeah. No,
$2,000 worth of video cards.
Yeah, honestly, I get by perfectly well with my little 512 meg DDR or DDR5 or whatever video card. I could probably do better with a 1 gig, but I don't game enough to really care. As far as people that are going to be buying this product, I mean, they're going to have their low cost options, and then they're going to have the top end version. And I know you've probably done this as often as I have, go into the Mac store and start configuring your options and seeing what you run the price up to. And I think the last version you could get it up to around $23,000 for a Mac Pro.
Oh yeah.
I think it's down to about 16 now. I'm really the thing that there's certain givens, like of course Thunderbolt's a given. Weeding out of FireWire, I believe, is a given. USB 3.0 is a given. Fusion drives. The things that really interest me most are what are they going to do with the optical drives? That would be the first thing. I'm going to assume that they're going to keep it being a professional level machine, but I have to think it's going to be an option. I don't really think it's going to come base model with an optical drive.
I disagree. I think that Apple will continue to ship an optical drive in the Mac Pro.
Think so?
Yeah, I think they would.
I think it'll be an option. I think it'll be an option where you can get it shipped with one or not. I don't know if they're trying to completely weed it out across the board, but only time will tell. And the second biggest thing is the form factor. I'm really interested because don't get me wrong. I mean, anything that Apple does under the design eye of Johnny Ive, I'm sure is going to be a beautiful design. Mm-hmm. But I really love the look of the old Mac Pro. The current model Mac Pro, I love the look of it.
Oh yeah, but try moving one.
No, that's the whole thing. You're never supposed to move one. You're supposed to set it there and let it collect dust for 8 years until the next model comes out.
Well, yeah, once the crane sets it into place.
Exactly. Hey, it does have convenient handles on each side of it. So.
Yeah. That way they can hook onto it with the crane, and okay, boys, lift her up.
Exactly.
No, they are. I think they weigh like 35 pounds.
Do what now?
I think it weighs around 35 to 38 pounds.
I'd say a little bit more than that, and that's if you have the base configuration. Throw in 4 hard drives and a couple of goodies in there, and you're easily up to 50, 75 pounds. But that's honestly compared to the machine I have over here. I don't know whether you can see it, but this custom machine I have back here.
Yep.
This thing weighs about 120 pounds. Okay. And it has wheels on it where I can roll it back and forth.
Oh my goodness! What is in there? Concrete?
Pretty much. Everything in it. The main thing is 6 hard drives, so kind of weighs it down a little bit. But yeah, I'm really interested to see what they're going to do with the design of the. I've heard some rumors that it's going to be a modular design. I've heard rumors that it's going to be stackable or whatever.
Oh, sorry.
I'm really curious to see what they're going to do with the design of the new Mac Pro, and I'm with you on. I really believe they're going to come out with a new one at WWDC. I really think they will.
Yeah, I'm leaning that way, and also I think there'll be a refresh of the MacBook Pro as well.
Right,
because of this time's with the release of the Haswell processor. So with Haswell, this is the 4th generation core processor from Intel.
Well, do you think they're going to, since they're going to redo the MacBook Pro with Haswell, do you also think that the MacBook Air would get a Retina upgrade?
Yes.
It's kind of what I was thinking too.
Yes. No, I definitely think you'll see a Retina. Now, well, the question is, will all these products be released or introduced at WWDC? Probably not.
No, I think at WWDC, I mean, it's a developers conference.
Yeah.
So first and foremost is software, and it's going to be about it's going to be about the new OS 10 version. It's going to be about it's going to be about the operating system and the software first and foremost. But I really think they're going to go ahead and bring out the Mac Pro because of the developers. I really don't think developers are going to wait for another 6 months for
No.
a refresh. A lot of them already aren't. They're going and they're getting Hackintoshes and they're
And Apple knows this, and it's a perfect opportunity to roll out a new Mac Pro, and it'll be I think a perfect opportunity to roll out a new MacBook Pro at WWDC, and then now we'll wait a little bit, and then we'll introduce like the MacBook Air with Retina display, and then maybe like the new 5th generation iPad,
and then a Retina iPad Mini.
Yep, and kind of do that, and then of course that would leave an iMac and a Mac Mini refresh.
Right.
And that kind of will get them through the next 6 months or more of the year. And plus, there'll be the introduction of, I don't know, probably more than likely the iPhone 5S. And that will be enough product in the pipeline. But all these things are evolutionary, upgrades and not anything really radical.
Well, the thing is, I think whatever they come out with, as far as I really do think they're going to come out with some type of wearable technology, whether it be a watch or something along those lines. I don't know, but I think they're going to come out. I'm absolutely certain that at some point this year they're going to come out with a whole new product category. Okay, and I don't know what that's going to be, but I'm absolutely certain they're going to come out with it. The problem I'm having right now with people, especially on the forums and on YouTube and stuff like that, is everybody wants a revolutionary upgrade to the iPhone. And that really bothers me. It bothers me that, everybody wants a radical departure from what is, in my opinion, almost a perfect device to begin with. And anytime, as we've seen, anytime something is that good and you have a radical departure, it always sucks really bad. And if you don't believe me, look at Windows 7 and Windows 8. There's a nice example of it right there. I mean, I just don't want my phone to be a sphere-shaped phone running a completely flat operating system. That's not my idea of a good time.
I definitely know that we're going to see a demo of iOS 7.
That I'm looking forward to.
Yeah.
But, I'm kind of worried about it too, because even though I'm not a real big fan of all the skeuomorphism in iOS. There's some things I do like, and there's some design aspects I do like. And I don't want to see it completely flattened out like a lot of people are talking about. In fact, there was a rumor a couple of days ago that said someone had seen a demo of iOS 7, and they said that it's black and white and flat all over.
Yeah, I've seen that.
And I don't want my operating system to look like Android.
I really don't. But that could be just pure misdirection.
I don't want my operating system to look like Windows Phone 7, and I don't want my operating system to
No,
look.
I don't think it will. I think it'll be very classy and very well done, and I think it'll be very subtle.
Right.
Okay. You take a look at like an iOS app like Tweetbot. It's done very, very nicely.
Right.
The interface behind that. I think it'll be very well done. I don't think they're going to do anything incredibly stupid. I just think they're going to cut back on some of the dumb stuff,
Right.
and make it. And the skeuomorphism is, to me, not the best idea in the world. I'm certainly not a fan of it. I hate the calendar app, the way it looks.
I think it's been. Don't get me wrong. I think some skeuomorphism is okay, but I think anything can be overdone. Now, Apple itself is the king of skeuomorphic design. They always have been, because, well, some people argue that they stole the GUI from Xerox or whatever, but still, they were the people that brought the GUI to the computer desktop. Okay,
Right.
they done it first, and they done it best, and it was all about everything with skeuomorphic. I mean, that's where we got the notepad that looked like a notepad. That's where we got the the music icon that looked like a music icon. I mean, everything is skeuomorphic to a certain extent. It's just you can take it overboard. And when you start doing leather and you start doing torn pages and all that, you've taken it a little too far, and it's getting cheesy.
Yeah, and that's exactly what happened. You mentioned Windows 8 earlier. So Windows 8.1 Blue, going to be free, going to be a free upgrade. Not bringing back the start menu, strictly bringing back the start button that basically takes you back to the start page.
Right.
Search is a little bit improved, I guess, in it. There's some differences on the way that full screen apps snap now. You can, I think, have up to 4. This is not, look, the bottom line is people didn't like Windows 8. Or this is not going to be enough to change their minds.
Nope.
And so, but I wanted to throw that out there. I got to tell you, by the way, I have a MacBook Pro, and that I dual boot. I have it boot camp to boot into Windows 8.1, and it runs Windows 8.1 beautifully.
Right.
The only problem I have with it, I have it in a dual monitor configuration. Okay, so I have an external display hooked up to it, like a 22-inch Dell display. And the only problem that I have is if I close the lid on the MacBook Pro in order to use, just when I close the lid, it won't hibernate. It will just lock it up. It just locks it up every time. And I would imagine that's got to do something with the boot camp drivers that, that Apple has. But you know what? The Windows 8.1 just flies on that thing. Just flies on the MacBook Pro.
Every version of Windows I have ever installed on a Mac would absolutely fly, and it worked better than on a PC.
Isn't that something?
I don't understand why, since according to all the PC fans, it's supposed to be identical hardware, but there's something different, or it wouldn't be that much of a dramatic difference. But as far as 8.1, they're bringing back the start button, but it's just a button to get you back to the desktop. It's not really a start menu. It's kind of like, I don't know if you remember this or not, but do you remember Coca-Cola and Coca-Cola Classic?
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember New Coke?
Yes.
Biggest flop in the history of planet Earth right there was New Coke.
It was Microsoft, Bob. I hate to tell you, it was
They threw away something that was perfectly fine for this new and great thing. Everybody hated it. And then when they tried to kind of go back, they never really went back to the way it was. And it was always kind of sorry after that. And that's kind of the way I'm looking at Windows 8 and Windows 7. You had a product that worked really, really well. I could not find a flaw. I could try as I might. I could not find any glaring flaws with Windows 7. I just couldn't. It was just a great, solid, stable, fast operating system. And I could not, especially when you're running the 64-bit version, I could not find any fault with that operating system at all, other than to say that it's not as secure as a Mac or Linux. But other than that, it's a great operating system. And then they come out with this garbage, Windows 8, and they try to just completely redo everything and just totally go in a completely different direction. And I really, and they're trying to come back, and they're trying to make some improvements, and they're trying to get those people back that they lost, but I just don't see it happening.
All right. No. Well, if it, I look at it this way. Okay, first off, Windows 7 is still doing very, very well. And they're still selling a lot of licenses of Windows 7, by the way. Okay. So we were, I was talking about Windows 8. You know what? I meant to tell you this. I'm officially becoming a really true to life cord cutter. I am getting ready to cancel DirecTV.
I've seen your post on Twitter.
In the next 30 days. Actually, I was going to do it tomorrow, but they cut me. But I would still have like a $20 early termination fee.
Right.
Because my contract is actually up July the 5th. And they cut me a deal doing anything to keep me as a customer. They cut the bill from $80 Originally it was $87 and some change a month. They cut it down to $60 if I'd keep it. And they threw in Stars and Encore as part of the package. And, I've got to pay a $20 cancellation fee no matter what, unless I wait till July. So the net cost to keep satellite TV one more month in my pocket is $40. And my wife is going, please, please keep it for one more month. And, but we bought the Mohu Leaf amplified antenna. And because I'm about 25 miles from the towers in Fort Wayne, and it picked up every doggone broadcast station I can get out of Fort Wayne, Indiana, beautifully.
Nice.
Got stunning HD. It's all there. Works great. I paid $54 for this thing. So we have a combination. So we have an Xbox 360. And on that, I have Netflix and I have Hulu Plus.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then we have the local channels on the antenna.
That's all you need right there.
The only thing I'm missing in this equation is a DVR.
There are a couple of Linux solutions, Linux-based solutions.
There is, but I don't want to see the TV is in our bedroom.
Okay.
Okay. I don't want a PC in the bedroom.
Okay.
So I have, there is an outfit called Channel Master TV. They make a DVR that will work with over-the-air antenna. I think TiVo does too, but you got to pay a subscription fee to TiVo.
Right.
And that's no good. I don't want to pay $15 a month for their online guide. That's just crazy. Right. Channel Master is around $340, and you don't have to pay a fee, and it has the guide, and it's got 360 gig hard drive, something like that. So plenty of, for what we, here's the thing, what we really would use it for on over-the-air programming, more times than not, it's going to be pausing a TV show. Because we'll go take a break or go get a Coke or whatever. And we kind of delay. We'll start recording, and we kind of delay so we can skip through the commercials. You know how that goes. And, of course, we do record some programs. But with Hulu and Netflix, yeah, you can just pause, rewind, fast forward, whatever you want to do on all that programming. So I got my bill down. I figure I'm going to be around $25 a month between Hulu and Netflix because I added the DVD option, the one-at-a-time DVD option to Netflix.
Now, what's going to be your total cost, your initial cost of equipment?
Well, if I buy this DVR, it's $340, something like that, and that's it. Well, and $54 for the Mohu Leaf antenna.
So you're looking at $400.
I'm looking at $400 with the DVR.
Right.
Okay. If I don't get the DVR, we're going to try it without the DVR for a while. If we get by with that, we'll be fine. You're
going to end up saving how much per year?
Well, I'm paying, $87 a month.
Mm-hmm.
So that's over about $1,000 a year, and I'm going to drop that bill, and that's well. And to be fair, I added the DVD service from Netflix for $8 a month, so I really can't count that into the equation. I'm really it's $16 a month, from 87 to 16.
Right.
The big thing to get used to is when you watch TV with a satellite dish or with a cable, Jack, you kind of, like my wife, she browses. Okay, this looks interesting. I'll watch it. No, I'll go, okay, I'll check. Right? That's how people do it.
Right.
Well, when you're doing it this way, you pretty much say, I want to watch this program, that. You got to go look for the programming, put it in the queue, or whatever. Right. So it's a different approach to watching TV, and it is a bit disorienting at first.
It's the a la carte approach versus the browsing approach.
Exactly. So, but I think my missus is going to get used to. I just wanted to bring that up there. So we're not all work. We're not all business tech. Sometimes I got to tell you though, so far I'm very impressed with the Mohu Leaf indoor antenna. And they basically work if you're less than about 40 miles away from the TV towers. If you're further than that, these are not going to be for you. If you're out in the country, then you're going to need to get yourself a regular tower and antenna with a rotor and all that to pick up the signal. But if you're within 40 miles, then the Mohu Leaf amplified antenna or the Mohu Leaf ultimate antennas and here's the neat thing: they're paper thin, they're white on one side, black on the other, so and they're paintable. So they're not the ugly rabbit ears that people associate with indoor antennas at all.
Right.
I highly recommend a Mohu Leaf antenna to all those folks. Is there anything else you might want to talk about this evening, Jack?
I got nothing.
Okay. That's fine because I got stuff. I want to talk a little bit, about Business Computing Weekly, excuse me, and some ideas that I have. And I wanted to share a couple resources with folks. Business Computing Weekly, Jack, you make your living through working on PCs.
Right.
That's how you make your money. I make my money by selling software that runs on PCs and on Microsoft platform. Mm-hmm. The people who mostly that watch what we do in one way, either directly or indirectly, make all or part of their money from watching business, or from computers.
Right.
Okay. We don't really review the latest in consumer tech. We don't talk about the latest phone and all that kind of thing. Well, what's important, and I've gotten some feedback, and people are saying to me, they go, we like what you're doing with Business Computing Weekly, but we're really interested in ways we can make money with computers.
Okay.
I think, okay, that's fair enough. Fair enough. You want to know how to make money? I mean, I don't have a magic formula. It's hard work. Whatever you're going to do, you've got to have a business and a business plan and all this kind of thing. And so the reason I wanted to interview Pat Flynn, here's a guy who's making $50,000 a month using computers and technology.
It's decent money.
That's not bad.
That's not bad.
$600,000 a year. In fact, he posts his monthly income on his website, exactly what he's making. Let me tell you what Pat Flynn does. Essentially, he was an architect. And in 2008, when the housing market collapsed, he found himself unemployed.
Mm-hmm. But
while he was working as an architect, he was doing what was called the LEED exam, L-E-E-D exam, which was for a green building, and it's a certification you got to go through. So he was putting his notes and stuff like that on a blog, and people were coming to read it and that kind of thing. And they said, you ought to, and he was getting a lot of hits to this thing about this LEED exam. People said, you ought to make an ebook or something out of it. And he did. And he sold $8,000 worth of ebooks on this LEED exam. And that got him thinking, man, there's something to this. And I would rather have my own online business than trying to get another job as an architect. So that's how this kid gets his start. Okay. He decided what he would do is create digital information that he would sell, online. And he would do that by creating niche websites. All right. So that's what he does. He started one for security guard training. He's got some other internet properties out there. He uses SEO and very advanced SEO tools to his advantage. And you can go to his website. He tells you exactly how he does it. And then he began the Smart Passive Income blog. His philosophy was you put, number one, there is no such thing as easy money.
Mm-hmm.
So get that. This is not a get-rich-quick scheme at all. What this is you do a lot of hard work up front to make long-term profits over the future.
We like that idea.
Okay, and that's what he was talking about. And he had some goals for his business that it had to be passive. In other words, the business had to be able to generate income whether he was there or not.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's the passive part of Smart Passive Income. And so he is done this, and he come out with the Smart Passive Income blog, and then he began doing a podcast. Okay, and his podcast has climbed to the. Now I want you to think of iTunes. There is what I heard a figure of like 500 million iTunes accounts out there. It's a phenomenal number of accounts.
Right.
He's got one of the top podcast for business and marketing out there. He's over at like 3 million downloads of this thing in the last couple of years.
Nice.
And he's got hundreds of 5-star ratings. This guy, he's 30 years old. And at 30 years old, he went from being unemployed to making $50,000 a month. And he gives a breakdown. He makes his money off the sale of digital products. He makes his money off of affiliate marketing. And he also does some public speaking. He's very energetic and very passionate. Mm-hmm. But he has learned, and he shares with you on his website, if you go to smartpassiveincome.com, he shares with you some of his favorite resources. And one of the things that he goes into, he'll say, okay, well, how do you determine a niche website? What do I do? Okay, as a matter of fact, his last couple of podcasts are devoted to a challenge of starting a niche website from ground up, locating the product or whatever you're going to do, marketing it, doing the SEO optimization until the point it makes money. Mm-hmm. He uses a couple different tools, and one of them that he likes a lot is called Market Samurai. And what Market Samurai is a keyword research tool. And if you listen to one of his podcasts, I think about 3 episodes ago, they actually talk about what you should look for in search terms. Certain results. You don't want one that's too popular. He had a guest on there that talked about, for example, what he did is he goes to like eBay, he goes to these other websites, and he looks at the categories of products for sale. Mm-hmm. And then he looks at the subcategories within those. And if he finds something that he likes, he'll start running the SEO research on this to see the number of hits. He's looking for a certain range of hits, no less than, 400 searches a month, let's say, for this words, maybe no more than a couple thousand, because then he wants to go check out the competitors, see what he can do better. And I gave an example about knives, okay? Hunting knives, I think it was. Something to do with knives. Mm-hmm. And he found a particular kind of knife, and it was doing in that range between, 400 or 500 searches per month for this particular phrase and couple thousand. So he created a niche website around that particular type of knife. And he's making like $1,000 a month now off of selling a knife off this niche website. And that's what he does. And he's got dozens and dozens and dozens of niche websites, all feeder income. It's all automated. When somebody orders, the order is then sent to a drop shipper who fulfills the order and, bills him for the knife. And of course, he's gotten paid electronically for it. He doesn't have to be there actually at his desk he's making money at 3:00 in the morning when he's sound asleep.
He's doing things the right way.
He's doing things the right way. And if you go to Smart Passive Income website, everything's on there. He tells you, hey, he makes $30,000 a month through his affiliate links with Bluehost for websites. Mm-hmm. Okay. How does he do that? Well, he's got this really popular podcast, and he believes in Bluehost. And he says, there's not a pressure, and he'll tell you, I make money from it. But he makes money off Bluehost. He recommends people go to Bluehost, and he's got other affiliate links with Thesis, Bluehost, eJunkie, ClickBank. There's some other stuff on there, but he tells you all about it. And I'm going to go to his income report right now on his website. Again, it's called Smart Passive Income. I'm going to look at his April 2013. I don't think he's put up May yet. Let's see if I can find what he's done in the month of April. Each month, important going on. It's on here. I just seen it the other day. Income breakdown. Here we go. He has a niche website called greenexamacademy.com. This is at LED exam. He made $3,100 in April in income from that.
Wow.
He has securityguardtraininghq.com. From there, he got $2,478 in Google AdSense income. He made $53.18 from an online job board that he's got there. $176.95 in affiliate earnings for a grand total of $2,708.96. Another niche web property is called createaclickablemap.com. Made $319.68. That's apparently an experimental niche website. Here's another one. He said 2 other mini experimental sites and YouTube AdSense, total of $721.21. He's developed a couple iOS applications. One for he made paid apps $2,156.95 in paid apps, and he somehow made $462.01 in free apps for a total of $2,618.96 in the sale of those. Now here's his affiliate marketing income. Market Samurai, he made $4,270 in affiliate income for the month of last April. Best Spinner, $1,688. Bluehost, $30,450. Thesis paid him $1,159 to recommend them. It goes on and on. eJunkie, $146. Virtual Staff Finder, $375. Grand total from affiliate earnings, $45,903.20. 45 grand there, and just in the affiliate earnings, put on his passive income from his niche websites, another $1,000 from ebook sales. Guess what? His total was $58,412.33. Folks, you asked me about making money on the web. This is how you do it. This is one of the ways you do it. Not only that, he gives a lot of free information away. Now, selling information on the internet is hard to do. Why? Because there's a lot of free information out there.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of free stuff. And you got to convince people, one, you're an expert, and B, that your information is worth paying for, and C, they can't find it for free anywhere else. You've got all those hurdles right there before you ever make the first nickel.
Because people are going to try every way they can to not pay for it.
They're going to try to find any way possible not to pay for it. So you got to have something very specific you're an expert in order, and you got to go clear those 3 hurdles. I kind of like the idea of selling little products on there.
Mm-hmm.
Between, say, $75 and $300 type products. Okay, something that somebody can fit. To me, I think it's better to sell a physical item than an information-based item.
I do too. I'd much rather. It's very hard to. I mean, if you don't believe it, try to make money off YouTube.
I do make money off. I do make some income off of it,
but you don't make much.
No, I don't.
There are very few people that are making a living off YouTube. You can count the number of people who are actually making a living off YouTube. You can probably count them on your fingers and have some left. But they're few and far between, and it's basically goes back to what you said. People don't want to really pay for information. A lot of times they try everything they can to get it for free, and on YouTube it's a little bit different type thing. But people will still go out of their way to avoid paying for something like that. And I'd much rather deal with a quality product, or just these little products, like you said, between $75 and $300 or whatever. I'd much rather actually be selling the product than I would a non-tangible.
Right, but the secret is identifying the product, finding a drop shipper,
mm-hmm.
okay, and using SEO correctly to get a little subcategory of a major category.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and this is kind of some of the advice that, because I definitely recommend that you listen to the Smart Passive Income podcast. Now, he has expenses. That wasn't all profit. His total expenses come to about $8,600. But he believes in hiring virtual assistants. He's got a virtual assistant that does research for him.
Right.
He's got a web developer that he pays about $700. That's why they're a virtual assistant web developer, $700 a month, $400 a month for a researcher, $680 a month for server and hosting fees. Assistant web developers, server optimization, $1,000. Libsyn hosting his podcast, $15 a month. He has his podcast transcribed, $227 a month. If I was making money from this, I would. One of the first things to do is have transcription service transcribe our podcasts. And there's bookkeeping, $260. team payments for what he calls Let's Go, and Let's Go is kind of a brand he's working on. You can also find him on YouTube as well. Voiceover work, he paid $175 for. Affiliate payments, he's got people that are affiliating to him. He paid $180, and altogether he's got about $8. So basically, he's clearing about $50,000 a month.
But, not bad money at all.
Okay, but this man tells you exactly what to do. So here's somebody making a living from technology. He is being smart about it. He is using things like search engine optimization and not the magic stuff. I'm talking his hard work.
That's voodoo.
Yeah, he's not using voodoo. He's using real tools and a lot of different strategies. I suggest if you're interested in making money with computers, this is certainly one way. There are certainly others. And I don't want to discourage people from selling information-based products on the web, but understand that unless you're an expert in your field and you can convince people that you know something worth paying for. And here's the other thing. I like items, and I like physical items for one other reason too. I like stuff that people consume and will require more of, rather than the one-off transaction. If you buy an ebook, that's it. It's the only sale you're ever going to get.
Right.
But if I sell chocolates on the web, okay, then when the next birthday comes up, you might order chocolates from me again, a holiday or Valentine's Day or an anniversary.
Oh, it's that way in anything.
Yeah, exactly. So consumable items.
Even with what I do, I have to, with my business clients, I have to get an agreement. I have to get a monthly agreement with them. And get a retainer fee, or I couldn't. If I tried to just exist off break fix, one-time break fix, I would go bankrupt in no time. I mean, I couldn't do that because you never know when that's coming, and it's a one-time thing. This customer might call you back, they might not, or it might be a year or whatever when it breaks again. But you have to have those retainer clients is where you make your money.
Exactly. I'm the same way. When I sell software, we have maintenance contracts for that software, and those are renewable on annual or every 1, 2, or 3 year terms. And part of the reason that I can afford to offer people really good prices on the software up front is because we want that relationship when you're maintenance contracted to get the renewal business. So I look at it as a long-term investment.
That's exactly what it is.
So I know that, on the first working day of the month, I should have so many dollars coming in the door that month from renewal contracts. It's just like the insurance business. That's what insurance agents are. They open an agency because as you renew your policy, they get a little commission every time you renew. That's the kind of revenue we're looking at. So I just wanted to share that with people. I will get Pat back on the show. He's a great guy. I will have him back on the show and for a full interview with him to learn how he's doing it. But I definitely recommend, if you're interested in making money with a computer, there are other ways to do it other than actually working on computers, okay, or working on networks. Here's an example of somebody using marketing and technology and he's making his family a great, great living. And I think on that note, I think we'll wrap up this week's installment of Business Computing Weekly. Jack, is there anything you want to add before we sign off?
No, not really. Just glad to be a part of it all.
And Jack has a new headset coming.
I do.
So next episode we should have that for you.
Hopefully the audio will be a lot better.
Yeah.
I apologize to all our listeners and our viewers for my audio, and I had a headset and then it went away, and I don't know what happened to it, so it got lost in transition. But yeah, the audio quality should improve pretty good bit.
Not a problem. All right, everybody, take care, and we will talk to you again soon. Good night, everybody.